Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're not heading out to the stars. Instead, we're taking an incredible journey deep inside something way more complex. You. We're on a mission to find the absolute fundamental building blocks that make you, well, you. I mean, really think about it. You look in the mirror, you see your skin, your hair, your eyes, but what are they made of? What if you could just zoom in, past all that, and keep zooming? What would you find? Well, to get to that answer, we've got to go microscopic. All right, first stop on our tour, we're diving inside what I like to call your cellular cities. To get the big picture, we have to start with the tiny, bustling metropolises that make it all possible. See, your body isn't just one big thing. Nope, it's more like a massive nation made up of trillions of individual citizens. And the best way to picture each one of those citizens, each cell, is as its own little walled city. It's got power plants, transportation networks, a central library with all the blueprints, all working nonstop just to keep things running.
But not all cities are created equal. You've got your simpler design, the prokaryotic cell, which is kind of like a small village. Everything's just out in the open, pretty basic. But your cells, oh, they're eukaryotic. They're sprawling, complex metropolises. They have all these different departments or organelles with their own walls. And the most important part, the DNA blueprint, is locked away for safekeeping in a central command center called the nucleus.
And even these big city cells have different architectural styles. So animal cells, like ours, and plant cells, we share the essentials. We've both got a nucleus, we've both got mitochondria for power. But plants? Plants have a couple of killer upgrades we don't. They've got a super rigid cell wall for support, which is how they grow so tall. And they have chloroplasts, which are basically tiny solar panels that let them make their own food from sunlight. Yeah, pretty cool trick we never figured out.
Okay, so our bodies are made of cities. Got it. But what are the bricks and the steel beams and the wiring of those cities actually made of? Time to zoom in one more level and find life's 4 key ingredients. Now, this is where it gets really wild. All of the incredible, mind-boggling diversity of life on this planet, it all boils down to just 4 main types of giant molecules. We call them macromolecules. And everything that makes you, you, from the way you think to the color of your eyes, is built from some combination of just these 4 things. Each one of these has a super important job. Carbohydrates, they're your fast fuel, like the energy drinks for your cells. Lipids, they're the long-term battery packs, but they're also the building blocks for the city walls. Proteins are the real workhorses. They're the little machines, the delivery trucks, the support beams. They do almost everything. And finally, nucleic acids, like DNA. That's the master blueprint. It holds the instructions for building the whole shebang.
So we've said proteins are the machines that do all the work. But how does a cell actually build one? Where do the instructions come from? Well, it all starts with that master blueprint we just mentioned, DNA. Let's follow the protein assembly line.
It's this beautiful 2-step process. First, inside that high-security vault, the nucleus, a special molecule makes a temporary working copy of one single gene from the DNA. Think of it like taking a photocopy of one page in a giant instruction manual. That copy is called messenger RNA, or mRNA, and that first step is called transcription. Then, the mRNA copy leaves the nucleus and heads out to the factory floor, where a machine called a ribosome latches on. The ribosome reads the instructions on the mRNA and starts assembling a protein piece by piece. That second step? That's translation.
And this really shows you the genius difference between the master blueprint DNA and that working copy, RNA. DNA is this super sturdy double helix, right? It's built for long-term, safe storage. It's the priceless original. RNA, on the other hand, is a flimsy single strand. It's designed for a temporary job. But here's the cleverest part. DNA uses a chemical letter called thymine. RNA swaps that out for something called uracil. It's a subtle change, but it acts like a chemical watermark that basically screams, I'm a disposable copy. This protects the original DNA from getting mixed up or damaged. So smart.
Okay, we know proteins are the cell's machines. Now let's meet a really special class of proteins whose only job is to make things happen and make them happen fast. Let's talk about the accelerators of life, enzymes. Enzymes are what scientists call biological catalysts. A catalyst is just anything that makes a chemical reaction go way, way faster. And I mean way faster. Without enzymes, just digesting your lunch could literally take decades. They are the reason life can actually happen in real time and not at a geologic pace.
So how do they work their magic? The secret is all in their shape. Every enzyme is folded into a very specific 3D structure with a perfectly shaped little pocket or groove on it, and that groove is custom-made to fit only one specific molecule, like a key fitting into a single lock. This ensures that each enzyme only speeds up the one exact reaction it's supposed to and nothing else. It's incredibly precise. But here's the catch. That perfect 3D shape is actually really fragile. Enzymes are total Goldilocks. Everything has to be just right. They have a perfect temperature where they work at maximum speed, which for us is our normal body temp. But if it gets too hot, that delicate structure starts to unravel and break apart. The key literally changes shape and doesn't fit the lock anymore. That process is called denaturing, and it's exactly why a really high fever is so dangerous. Your cellular machinery is literally starting to melt down.
Wow. Okay, we have zoomed all the way into the molecular level. So now let's pull the camera all the way back out and put all these amazing pieces together to finally see the big picture. This is the pyramid of you. It's an amazing ladder of complexity. It all starts with a handful of simple elements. Those atoms form the basic building blocks. The blocks link up to create those 4 giant macromolecules. Those molecules assemble themselves into the organelles, the working parts of the cell. And then trillions of those cellular cities all work together to build tissues and organs and ultimately the thinking, feeling, complex organism looking at the screen right now. You. It's just an astonishing chain of construction. And the secret that powers this entire magnificent structure? It's information. That's it. Everything comes back to the code, the instructions stored in your DNA. That genetic sequence has the plan for every single protein, and it's those proteins that do all the work, carrying out every single function that makes you, well, alive. So from atoms to enzymes to entire cities of cells, this impossibly complex, microscopic dance is happening inside you at this very moment. It's building and rebuilding you every single second. So the real question isn't just how you're built. The real question is, with this incredible biological machine at your command, what are you going to build with it?